Facebook ads and Google ads represent over 50% of all of online advertising, so it is an absolute non-negotiable that you know how to run both channels right now. Across all the brands we run at the Moonlighters, we've driven over $500 million in revenue using Facebook ads and Google ads. So in this video, I'm going to give you a clear-cut answer as to whether you should advertise on Facebook ads or Google ads, and I'm going to give you pros and cons for each of the platforms, especially going to hit on some of the cons that you might not know. I'm also going to break down what platform you need to be on based on what you're selling, where you're selling it, and how you want to sell it. Things like average order value, velocity. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what platform to use, why you're using that platform, where you should spend your time, and where you should spend your valuable resources so that you could actually scale your business and drive a significantly higher return on ad spend than you are right now. Now, at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that Facebook and Google ads represent almost the entire market, roughly around 50%. But what does that actually translate into impressions and audience size? Keep in mind, when we say Meta and when we say Facebook ads, we're talking Facebook ads, Instagram, WhatsApp, and a few other places across their audience network. Second, when we're talking about Google ads, we're thinking about Google search, YouTube, we're talking display, and we're really talking a wide variety of locations that Google specifically owns and allows us to advertise on. Facebook has about 3.88 billion users, while Google has about 4.3 billion users across their ecosystem. The biggest thing we need to understand right now is that Facebook ads is a demand generation platform, while Google ads is a demand capture platform. Everything we're talking about with Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and the entire Meta suite is all around driving attention to your business or creating demand. Where on the flip side, the Google ecosystem is actually built to capture demand. So when a search happens, when a shopping query happens, they're putting your products or your searches front and center for the consumer to purchase right then. So both platforms have two unique roles. And even though they may both address around 4 billion people, the intent of those audiences are very different from one another depending on what platform they're using on a daily basis. So it all starts with your ideal customer profile, or your ICP. Your ICP is the ideal person who purchases from your business. This is so important for everyone to understand because every single business, no matter how similar you are to your competitor, has a different ICP. This is so critical because your ICP may vary just a little bit different than the other, which is going to create tons of different searches or tons of different ads that are going to work better for you than your competitors. What you need to start at is first understanding, why is your customer purchasing from you? Once you have that information, you could then make a better determination if you should spend your resources in Facebook ads or spend your resources in Google ads. Now, when we first think about Facebook ads, and I'm talking all of the Meta suite, what are we thinking that's most critical? Facebook and Instagram in and of itself is the most visual ad platform that we've ever had. There's been TV ads, there's Snapchat ads, there's TikTok ads. There's a whole lot of ad formats out there. However, we've never had a platform as robust as Instagram and Facebook that has allowed us to share video, images, collections, catalogs, and so many other features all packed into one system that natively flows so that when you're on Instagram, you don't feel like ads are interrupted. Think about the experience of you watching your favorite show and then boop, you get interrupted by a TV commercial. In that one quick moment, you completely divert your attention. Oftentimes, you're back down on your phone, or you're looking in a different direction, or you leave the room to go get a snack. Something happens, right? You are no longer engaged with the program. On the other hand, when we think about Instagram or Facebook, you see an ad, it's actually a point of engagement. It feels like the show. It feels like you're on there to consume it. This puts Instagram and Facebook at an elite level of platform relevance, and over time has made Facebook and Instagram the most scalable advertising platform that we ever seen. Now, specific to your ICP or your ideal customer profile, the reason that this is so important is because if your customer is ultimately looking for something new or not even looking at all, then Meta, Facebook, and Instagram is where you need to live. For example, if you're selling an item or a new category breaker that people have never seen before or have heard just a little bit about, or even a new service that people haven't heard about, there's an opportunity for you to run Facebook ads and Instagram ads at an elite level. On the flip side, let's take Google. Even though Google has pushed campaign types like Performance Max and Shopping, which are a little bit visual, they're ultimately nowhere as visual, they're nowhere as engaging as Facebook and Instagram ads. What you can do with Google, and why it's so important to understand the differences here, is that when you think about search ads, that is your very first opportunity to get into a customer and become the very first page result. Little hint here, most consumers have no idea they're clicking on sponsored ads. Most consumers don't even know that Google ads are a thing at the top of the page. page. Most consumers just click the first result. So if you have the opportunity to show up in the very first result, you are ultimately bypassing so much work that takes essentially years, sometimes decades, to get up to the very first search result. Now, we also have to consider shopping. Consumer attention span has shortened and shortened and shortened over every single year. When we have shopping ads, this is our perfect opportunity to be visual, show our product right up front, price it appropriately, create the correct title, and ultimately show up above the search results right at the very top. That is your opportunity in Google Ads to capture so much demand. So overall, I really recommend Facebook ads for brands with smaller catalogs that are highly visual appealing and that are unique. On the flip side, I recommend Google Ads for huge catalogs in categories like fashion, wellness, beauty, where there's a lot of search results and a whole lot of different products. Ultimately, this is going to allow you to show up in the top of the search results and the top of the shopping results and capture a ton of demand. Something to think about when running any ads is going against the grain and beating the competition. You cannot just set up the same campaigns as everyone else. You can't just run Advantage Plus campaigns. You can't just run Performance Max campaigns. If you set up your ads the same exact way that everyone else sets it up, you are going to get the same results as everyone else. That is going to put you at a huge disadvantage on a long-term scale. So if you want to continuously improve your return on ad spend or improve your scale, then you need to think outside the box. Now, as you watch dozens of videos online and listen to hundreds of other people, you may hear common things like average order value makes a huge difference on which platform you should be focusing on. What you'll commonly hear is that low average order value, go to Facebook. High average order value, go to Google, because the demand and capture on Google is greater, so it can capture high average order value products, where the AOV on Facebook is easier and it's a more impulsive platform. I actually disagree with this, and I'm going to break down exactly why. Whether you have a product that is in high demand, high average order value, low average order value, huge ticket, lead gen, doesn't matter. The truth about this is if you run an e-commerce business, you need to be testing on both of these platforms. But before you go and test on both platforms, where should you start and how could you figure out what's actually going to be best for your e-commerce business? What this comes down to is your goal, specifically around how much you want to scale. There's going to be a certain amount of demand that you could physically capture on Google. There's only so many people searching for your certain products every single day. And the more you try to capture all of that demand and own the entire market share, the harder it's going to get and the higher your CPCs are going to raise. On the flip side, on Meta, you could scale what feels like infinitely. I have literally personally spent over $100,000 per day in Facebook ads, upwards of $200,000 per day during peak holiday seasons, where we feel like we could still spend more. I've seen accounts spend $500K per day. Sounds scary, but the reality is it comes down to the amount of eyeballs on the platform. On the Google side, you can't get people to go to their desk or go on their phone and start searching things. But on the Facebook and Instagram side, people are scrolling, and you only need to pay 1 extra cent to show up 1 extra time compared to your competitors. So ultimately, while there's a finite number of eyeballs and you do have to pay a premium to scale, you don't have to pay the same premium that you would if you wanted to scale on the Google side, because Google is finite. There are so many searches available, where Facebook is not infinitely scalable, but it feels like it is. You could scale so much more than you expect. So what does this mean for you right now? What this means is that you should run on Google. You should test on Google. And once you start to see your cost per clicks go up and your click-through rates go down, and specifically your cost per acquisitions or your return on ad spends go in the wrong direction, then you should understand that you've probably hit a wall. You've probably hit the point of diminishing returns where you can't continue to scale like there's no ceiling. On the Meta side, when we're talking about Facebook and Instagram ads, you have the ability to add zeros, meaning scale your business as quick as you want, as long as it's in your goals. Overall here, Facebook is much better at scaling to the moon. But scaling to the moon does not have to happen today, and Google is going to do a better job at capturing demand for people who are most relevant to buy your products right now. That's why I recommend you have a combination running all of the time. By the way, if you're getting anything valuable out of this video, we post winning strategies, structures, and setups on Facebook ads and Google ads all the time. Hit the subscribe button if you want to get more into the action. So now that we've explored some of the general strengths and weaknesses, let's actually talk about some of the specific features of each of these platforms that might make or break which platform you should be using today. So some of the biggest strengths of Facebook ads are their scalability, audiences, and ultimately the ability to share a variety of creatives. One of the things we haven't talked about is your ability to grow your organic social channels using ads. When we think about a business today, we think about the storefront being the website. There's a point of validity and a point of verification where someone wants to see if your brand is legit. And one of the ways they do this so commonly these days is they go to your Instagram. So they will either go down to the bottom of your site and click on the Instagram link, or they'll go on their phone and they'll search you up to see and check out if you're legit, what your following is like, what people are saying about you. People don't really go and look for anonymous reviews on your site. They don't really go to Reddit as much. People just go to Instagram. There's hundreds of comments. There's an interactive feel. And ultimately, if you have a lot of followers and high engagement, that's like a store being busy. You know it's going to be good. So one of the big benefits of running meta ads, specifically running Facebook ads and Instagram ads, is that your ads are going to boost your social proof. They're going to create dozens and dozens of comments. They're going to create more followers that go to your Instagram. And ultimately, it's going to build more of a community. This is something that is invaluable and almost really hard to put a dollar sign on. Generally speaking, when you have more followers, when you have more of an interactive community, your revenue and your site visitors will go up, which is why one of the reasons I really recommend Facebook and Instagram ads for all businesses, but especially unique businesses, is because this will create that mark of validity, that mark of verification, almost like the check mark you're going to get when you get to a certain number of followers. It makes you legit. There's two things on Google that I want to share with you that I think are really strong and completely unique to Google. First, Performance Max has completely changed the way that we use Google ads, especially for businesses that are just starting or just trying to scale for the first time. Performance Max allows us to touch all of the Google ecosystem without having to segment things and ultimately try to figure out exactly how much budget to spend where. Performance Max has proven time and time again over the last 2 years that it works just as good, if not better, than breaking everything out on your own. This is especially helpful if you're only running $300, $500 a day. Really, really helps you refine what you have to do. Doesn't make you have to break everything out on your own, which is huge for ease and setup. The second thing that Google has that is unique and unbeatable right now is YouTube. YouTube ads provide the most valuable content possible. If you could hit a good YouTube ad, your business will transform. A good Facebook ad and a good Instagram ad will absolutely help and move your business forward, but a good YouTube ad will capture people like I have never seen before. It will turn fans into loyal customers and ultimately is the best converting tool if done properly. At the end of the day, Google ads and Facebook ads have very unique, very different features. And it's really always going to come down to what's your product, where are you trying to place your product, and who are you trying to target? Who is your ideal customer profile? Facebook and Google ads have changed drastically in just the last 2 years, and especially changes that have happened in 2024 have made a huge impact on how we approach advertising. Now, when we think about Facebook ads, we're talking about Advantage Plus audiences, the loss of interest-based targeting, the loss of dynamic creative optimization, the changes that have gone on in the actual UI of the platform. Facebook ads has changed a lot. Everyone feels it. If you weren't in Facebook every single day, you probably popped in and are like, what is going on here? It's completely changed. Google ads, on the same note, has changed tremendously as well. We've lost a lot of features and we've gained features like Performance Max. Now, all of these changes can be both blessings and curses. It's just a matter of you understanding each of these features and then using them properly. When it comes to simplicity and when it comes to these new features, let's start with Facebook ads. Facebook ads introduced Advantage Plus or ASC ads just about a year to 2 years ago now. These ads have completely dominated the percentage of spend across most accounts. However, we have not seen these specific campaign types actually work the best. What we found is that they only work the best when they're in a very specific structure, really focused on your best creatives only. We need to be really careful with some of these features. And while they seem simple, and while Facebook is pushing the ease of setup and the ease of simplicity here, there's a huge caveat that it doesn't always work the best. Similarly, on Google, Performance Max has been dominant. Now, Performance Max is working a little bit better than standard shopping. However, if you don't set up Performance Max properly and you segment things out too much, or you group everything together in your product sets, you are going to be at a disadvantage compared to all of your competitors. When it comes to simplicity, the biggest benefit of Google ads is the fact that you don't need high quality product images, you don't need videos, you don't need great creative and expensive creative. What you really just need in Google ads is a good product and a good website. If you have those two things, you can create your shopping feed completely free. You could type out your 30-character search ads. That puts you at such an advantage to move fast and move now. Brands get so caught up with the best image, the best video, etc., but it could cost thousands and thousands of dollars to actually create, shoot, edit, refine that image. That is a process that is expensive. So if you're trying to be light, Google has a major advantage in this category. So both platforms could be intimidating. but they've both created much more simple options over the last 1 to 2 years with Advantage Plus, Performance Max, and as I just mentioned, Google takes a little bit of the win here because you don't even need high quality images or high quality videos to really get moving in the right direction. So now we have a top-down view of Facebook ads and Google ads. So which one is better for e-commerce and where should you be spending your budget right now? Realistically, you should be testing your budget in both ad platforms. To test properly, I'd recommend a 7-day click attribution window for both platforms. Make them even and always give both of these platforms a fair share of time. Google takes a little bit longer to warm up. In fact, to find your right search terms, to actually accurately make your shopping feed go to the right products, this stuff could take 30, even 60 days. On the flip side, Facebook is much quicker. So if you're trying to get scale today, Facebook is where you should start. Facebook is a fantastic platform for finding audiences at scale right away. Even though testing both platforms, might sound daunting and timely, it's also going to be a great upside opportunity for you because if you properly test into both platforms and both work to hit your targets, then you actually have 2 advertising vehicles that can both scale your business independent of one another on completely different places, right? That's one of the great parts about Facebook ads and Google ads. So if you're able to actually lock into both and scale both channels, you could scale your business at a substantially faster rate because you're going to be capturing demand with Google and you're going to be creating demand with Facebook. You're going to be able to capture what your competitors would have took from Google, and you're going to be able to create what was never going to be there in the first place with Facebook ads. Testing and diversifying, especially when it comes to e-commerce businesses in today's market, is one of the most important things that you could be doing. The more ways that you could reach and retain your customer, the better your business is going to grow and the safer it's going to grow. If one platform is doing well and the other's not doing well, great. You could lean more on a better platform. You need to have different levers within your business that you can pull, different platforms within your business that could help you scale over time. So realistically, despite the advantages and disadvantages of each of the platforms, you really should have both Facebook ads and Google ads in your arsenal ready for you now. In this video, I did something I don't usually do, and I stacked up the pros and cons of both Facebook ads and Google ads. But I can only go into so much detail on how you could set up your Facebook ads and how you could set up your Google ads in this short video. So if you want to see the exact setup, structures, and strategies that we use for all of our clients at the Moonlighters, then click on one of these 2 videos, one for Facebook ads and one for Google ads, and I'm going to break down exactly how we scale businesses at the Moonlighters.